I thought it could go a little bit wrong for them, but they did manage to stabilize at least with the 2.
Yeah, so Extreme being brought back into this roster initially for PCS5 for qualification was an enticing prospect, but he was someone whose stocks hadn't really been that high for a while. I think he had even taken a little bit of a break early on in the year, and there were a couple of moments, there was one game in particular that people like to reference of where the dust needed to get shaken off a little bit. But he has been playing very, very well, at least the first 2 games so far. Vox as well, who has been in this game, been in the scene for almost forever, I think, from the very early days. And if they can continue to play like they have been, as long as they don't have those positioning mess ups in the mid game to get punished off of, then 300 could be a real prospect.
You're just over here keeping receipts on Extreme's game. You're like, that one game that we're going to reference. It should be noted the Gas Cans and SSG were on top of each other. They're going to separate out. Not too much crazy that's going on, as you can see, for this week so far. Fiumba and Oath, each sitting on a win apiece, but just getting ready. The circle's going to pop, and interesting.
Okay. Fortunately, Chocolatita is able to get the revive, as you said, and no one is trying to take over this position. They're not trying to go for the high ground, assuming that it's already been claimed, which, as you can see, it has been. And everyone is looping around to the west side, trying to take the Pachinki field. If not Pachinki itself, TSM is here to stop the push by Black Tigers. CGG goes down, and the rest of Black Tigers forced to U-turn away.
Oh no, Fiumba, this is not the area you want to drive through. Dignitas on one side, Soniqs on the other as they're rolling through. It's going to be a little bit problematic for them. Dignitas, though, wants to leave position, so right at that moment is going to be whenever Fiumba rolls through, and they're going to be able to get those trenches just to the east of Pachinki. TSM, though, have themselves a position play. Black Tigers that had to reposition away, now harassing Dignitas as they roll through. Tries to get some retaliative shots, but no, it's going to be Synergy that lines up and hits it to give a little bit more of a reprieve to Dignitas as they make their rotation.
Prince Ali comes in with the save. Dignitas still alive somehow, Sparking healing up. He's actually already found a position way north of Pachinki where the rest of Dignitas are trying to rotate, wrapping all the way around towards the northeast side as quickly as they can.
Oh, Systematicos.
Oh, yeah, trying to play on foot up against Trog. And wait, Trog are dead.
Well, they managed to get them, but walking through the angle, they now have to be very careful as it's going to be SSG that has a high ground on them, I believe. Not in the too big of a rush for them to move just yet. Okay, I was going to say, Space Station Gaming knows exactly where they are lined up. They were just waiting to get into point. Systematicos in a little bit of trouble at the stage, to say the least. So if maybe they can get some counter shots or maybe a grenade of their own to land right in the thick of Space Station Gaming. But doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Rivero in a little bit of trouble, gets spotted out. That's one, that's two. Roth makes it look easy and steps away from it.
Almost gets dropped, 9 HP, but yes, still 4 up for SSG.
I mean, it's Corsac, though. This guy has been putting on a show as we move through each stage individually. E United has leaned into his firefighting capabilities. Do note that Fiumba also has the capabilities to potentially harass. Synergy, you can also see rolling through a potential area around, but it's going to be E United, seeing if Waldo can maybe find a little bit of an angle to assist from. Corsac does have the high point inside of everything that's going on, but it's a matter of what type of play are they trying to make it. Oh my God, this is just so back and forth, steps through it, and there you go, does manage to line up the shots into it. Now we're gonna see Sparking on the other side, see how he opts into playing through this one. Are we gonna see maybe a reposition? Poonch still playing lows, Corsac still dancing around the top. Waldo's now trying to track Sparking just a little bit, but it's a fight going off on so many different positions right now.
Because no one can get into the center because it's all field. That's what everyone's fighting for, the last semblance of terrain before the Pachinki field gets as flat as you can imagine. Fiumba right now trying to face off against Gas Cans, who are heavily wounded. But now back here on the north side, Punjic. Oh, T-Sox coming in. This isn't even E United. This is Wildcard with an entire surround of this engagement. So E United do get taken out, but Dignitas now need to remove themselves from this. Look at Wildcard's position. They found an opening, and they pulled the trigger on locking Dignitas out of this circle.
Just like you were talking about a second ago, Cam, this is a lot more empty of a circle than these teams want it to be with 41 alive. That's why we're seeing a lot of these edge fights, or people just clinging to a little bit of a dip off at the side of it. 300, though, has a little bit of vision on what's going on with Oath, but Oath is managing to hold the lineup. Vox goes down late in Extreme now to figure out how they're wanting to handle what's going on. Tries to go for a little bit of a pitch play off to one side of it, but gets spotted out as well. And this is just absolutely problematic for 300 now.
Had an opportunity on Balefrost, but wasn't able to land the shots, and now they're able to stabilize their own fight. It's all into Extreme. A couple of good shots in, but doesn't get the knock. And now he can try and push into the next tree, but he has a difficult 1v3 ahead of him.
bold, to say the least, coming out from 300's Extreme. Does line up into one, gets the knock onto him, but in the end, it's going to be Kickstart that gets the kill onto Extreme, getting now a little bit more space to work with as they have the space where they can reset, get their health up. Who doesn't have space, though, is going to be Young Kings, SSG, who are right next to each other. Swagger's already gone down inside of this fight. Now Young Kings, right on the edge of the zone, has to be very careful. Circle does pop right on top of Soniqs in this position, with all of the fields to the west of them just wide out in the open.
I guess this is when every other team that's not the Soniqs makes the decision to go for kills. I mean, TSM also have a position, but other than that, it's all fighting on the edge. Fiumba trying to finish off gas cans. They've been holding off against each other for quite a while. It has allowed gas cans to get the revives necessary, but the grenades come in. DraftKings gets knocked. Push is continuing. Captain Han's also down. It's all into one.
It is so hazardous trying to make the push through these positions, as it's just so many blind angles. Only Adam goes down inside that exchange, so they should be able to get the res. They should have a moment to reset. It's going to be Soniqs that has range and vision on what's going on. Space Station Gaming still continuing with Young Kings that is very close to them.
Yeah, where can they go? They have to pick one of these two teams to fight, and SSG and Oath, they're both very, very rough teams to try and engage with, to say the least. Wildcard versus Dignitas. They've been giving Dignitas some space to work with because they're not trying to upset their whole game. But now the smoke's coming into place. Ray takes a bit of damage from the grenade. I don't know if he's known exactly, but now the set comes in. Young Kings, they drop one, they drop Bale, but now Flux and N1 are also taken out.
Jumps out, and it is just a catastrophe after that one. Oath does manage to get the retaliation shots back into it. Should be able to get the res as well. Wildcard, though, still finding themselves in some trouble as Dignitas is managing to creep forward. Remember, it was Wildcard that inadvertently helped them earlier by taking out EU United. Now Wildcard's having to contend with Dignitas, who is moving slowly and steadily into this position, and it is just Zealot that is up, hoping that he gets a side angle onto it. Does manage to take down Sparking, but Punage should be completely aware of this now, and oh, Zealot's going to go ahead and go for the flush into it. Punage, and now it is just a dance around the smoke. Who's going to see who first? Zealot seems like he has an idea on exactly the approach it's going to be coming from, but it's opposite side. Now retreating away from the tree, going to lean out around from it, does a little bit of juke, and there you go. Dignitas goes down, but at the cost of multiple members on Wild.
Revive onto Nikos comes out, but it is only 2 remaining for gas cans. Smokes as well for defense to not get shot at as wildly by the Soniqs. But still, with only 2, they're going to have to take care
TSM.
of. Okay, hold that thought. TSM pushing in onto the Soniqs, and a great grenade by Mime.
Perfectly cooked up. 2 members of TSM rolling right into the wrong neighborhood. Space Station Gaming getting a little bit of tap in there, saying, hey, I'll go ahead and take some of those kills. The opposite side of it, SG is going to have to contend with BT as they're making their approach into this one. So now we do have multiple members up for TSM. SSG going to use this opportunity to roll right by where we see Soniqs. TSM holding down position, and they're going to hit the other side of Soniqs. So now Soniqs find themselves pinched between 2 hyper-aggressive teams. 2 members already down for SSG as they make their approach. Now just a defensive line holding up for Soniqs as they've got toys to play with and a great way to defend this.
Shrimzu trapped in a closet, but the flash comes out trying to take the fight, and oh, we actually get taken. It's a trade. But Soniqs still come out on top. SSG might have just crossed their fingers and hoped that Soniqs were only holding the top half and they were going to go for the allegedly weaker team, but Soniqs, they're holding down the entire thing.
That was absolutely insane. The amount of shot calling and the trust and the capabilities and the information processing that Soniqs had to use to handle 2 quick crashes like that and not lose anyone. That was just a masterwork in defense there.
But the grenades are coming in from SG. Gascan's forced to hide in the smoke.
Oh, Pippa drops it right on top of Nikos. Now it is just Hikerman trying to see if maybe he can inch his way forward, but SG, they don't care. They're like, we can't even move. We've got Soniqs on the other side of it. Maybe they can harass Oath. And again, this is what Soniqs want. They just want everything to come apart off to the side of it. 1 member now down for SG as gas cans get eliminated. This is a 2-2 looking at each other while there is still a 4-man Soniqs just waiting with bated breath to see if they can pick up a couple of kills. And SG, that might not be the way to go. There's not too many different options to play with there. It's going to be picked up on both sides. And now it's just Oath versus Soniqs.
Now Soniqs, they see that and they immediately leave their compound knowing that Oath are all in the corner. It's going to take them a quick second to get back into position to hold this push. Mime is already dead center of phase 7. We have 1 more shift ahead of us.
It's just a matter of time till somebody gets vision on Oath, and there you go. It's going to be H1 harassing already spotting out, gonna feed that information back over. A quick lean off to the side of it, and there you go. Soniqs pick up their first chicken dinner of the weekend.
I think that there was a possibility of Oath of winning out that one.
I play my dick, get big as the Apple Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours.